Tonight, something extraordinary. The moon has orbited the Earth 669 times since the Apollo 11 mission in July of 1969. An astounding 94% of Americans with their TVs on watched the coverage. Most of the sets were black and white. Only a third of U.S. households had color. And most were turned to CBS and Walter Cronkite.
This is CBS News color coverage of Man on the Moon. Correspondent Walter Cronkite.
We are counting down toward the launch of the Apollo 11.
It was 6 a.m., July 16, 1969. Walter Cronkite launched an unprecedented 46 hours of live television coverage.
So it is now, before they go, that there is time to think of those three men, the burdens and the hopes that they carry on behalf of all mankind.
To cover the mission to the moon, CBS circled the Earth with a staff of more than 1,000.
This is Peter Kalischer in Paris.
From Seattle.
In the Dam Square in Amsterdam.
Of the more than 3,000 reporters assigned here, at least...
CBS News space correspondent David Shoemaker was covering the launch.
You were there on Cape Canaveral, in the bleachers with all of the people. How much excitement was there?
Well, you know, I was just another tourist down there. I had no idea that Apollo had so captured the imagination of people.
2, 1, we have a liftoff.
When the launch went, everybody stood up, and Walter had devised his little catchphrase, "Go, baby, go." And the whole crowd of 500 VIPs was shouting, "Go, baby, go."
With the astronauts on their way, the coverage would shift to CBS Space headquarters in New York.
My script was not a CBS script. It was the exact flight plan that the astronauts had with them in the cockpit.
Joel Bannow was the director. His job, explaining each stage of that very complicated 8-day mission.
This shows the docking probe.
With space-age graphic simulations that rivaled reality.
This is the evil genius behind the CBS coverage.
The place is the lunar surface.
Today, there are still people going around swear that we never went to the moon, that it was all Joel Bannow that did it all in the studio.
The Eagle has wings. Roger.
But the actual moon mission stole the show.
30 seconds.
4 days after the launch, more than 500 million people around the Earth looked toward the heavens, waiting for touchdown.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
We were holding our breath. There was a great cheer in the studio.
I couldn't do that. I was calling my shots. And then suddenly I see Wally moving his hand, and I cut to him. He had a tear in his eye. I see Walter, so I grabbed that shot. Walter is just rubbing his hands this way.
Wally, say something. I'm speechless.
Cronkite's loss for words spoke volumes. The world was in awe.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
People on every single continent, for the first time in history, watched a live television broadcast together. Cronkite used this to...
Teasel Muir-Harmony is a curator for the Smithsonian.
When you talk to people, their experience of Apollo, for the most part, is through this coverage.
Where does Apollo 11 fit in the history of CBS News coverage?
Its finest moment.
I don't... At the top.
It wasn't until they returned to Earth that these new heroes began to see and understand all they had accomplished.
Aldrin said to Armstrong after he read the newspaper coverage, "We missed the whole thing." And that's because they missed the broadcast.
Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins are the best of us. And they've led us further and higher than we ever imagined we were likely to go.